Hey, how's it going, everyone? I hope you're all keeping well. I'm back with another video because, yeah, would you believe it? Would you believe it? Our former manager, Steve Bruce, has been speaking about us once again. And I've listened to the whole video he did talking about us, and you could do nothing but laugh because of the absolute crap that this man comes out with again. Once again. So Steve Bruce was on a podcast on the Sports Blitz podcast and discussing about his when his time was coming to an end and all that, how he recommended Eddie Howe and all of that to Amanda and Mirdad and all of that, and it's if he's trying to wants us fans to get back on his side. Well, I'm sorry, absolutely no way. We will never forget about the time he failed miserably as a manager at this football club. And again, coming out with this crap all the time. It's just... Can the bloke just not admit that from start to the end of my managerial career at Newcastle United, it was an absolute failure completely. So this is what he's been saying when he was on the podcast, right? So he said, Bruce said, the people who took over Newcastle, they came to see me, and if you remember, we were playing Spurs, and that was going to be my 1,000th game as a manager, as if we kind of didn't know that already in a way. He said, Amanda and Mirdad apparently went out to him and said, look, Steve, how can we help you? And he comes out and said, look, I'm the only negative left. The euphoria of Newcastle, the support, the crowd, everything about it was as if the doom and gloom had shifted and everything was euphoric. They've had an unbelievable rise in 18 months or 2 years. Well, of course we all knew that you were still the negative one left. I mean, good God almighty, man. Did you not even think about that? Before the final days of your as a manager at this Newcastle United, how you knew your time was going to come up to an end and all of that. But to come out and say that now it's just absolutely unbelievable. We all knew that he was the negative one left of this football club. And then he goes on to say to them, but I had to say to them, you might have to take me out of the equation. It's the hardest thing I've ever had to say, but I realised it was best for the club because everything was euphoric around it. The only negative was me. Well, the fact is, Steve, I can't believe you just been coming out and saying that now, because the fact is you had plenty of opportunities, particularly during the Mike Ashley era, to walk away from Newcastle United, and you didn't, because do you know why? What it was all about? That massive payoff that you wanted, because Mike Ashley wasn't going to give you that, because he wiped his hands with the football completely. And you just thought when he was sacked and when the new owners came in, you were probably rubbing your hands completely low. If I'm going to get sacked, I know I'm going to get a payoff from these. I really know I am and all of that. And it's just, why weren't you the bigger man, Steve, to come out and says, I'm not good enough, I'm going, I'm leaving, I'm not fussed about a payoff and all of that. I need to get out of the club. I did nothing but absolutely destroy Newcastle United. I need to go immediately. You had plenty of opportunities to do that, didn't you, Steve? And you didn't. What was it? Because of what I said? It was all down to the payoff that he wanted and all of that. For fuck's sake, man. It's just absolute garbage what he comes out with. Like he did when he was Newcastle United manager. Non-stop garbage from the day he was appointed all the way up until the end he was relieved of his duties. And all of that. So, there you are. And then he says, and he come out and even said, they even asked me, and I can say this on record, they asked me who would I recommend. And I did recommend Eddie, Bruce revealed. I hope Stephen doesn't mind, but I recommended Steven Gerrard too. Well, how do you know in a way, Steve, that they might not have had Eddie Howe on the short list when this takeover happened and all of that? Because they knew that you weren't going to last at the club much longer. And look what Eddie Howe has done. He's done, look how he has changed our side completely. He's got players playing to their best now. We finished in the Champions League last season. Something that you would have never have done, Steve, because if you stayed in charge of Newcastle United, we would be in the Championship. No doubt about that. We would have been in the Championship and all of that because of how an absolute failure you were in Newcastle United. The way you were nasty to people, you were taking the piss out of the fans a lot of the time. You were throwing players under the bus, having massive bust-ups with them completely. And now all of that is gone, is sailed far away now completely. But for you to come out and say that, it's just like, are you for real? When you could have looked back at your time and said, and you could have walked away a lot from the club a lot sooner than you thought you did. And you know what? We don't look back at that now, Steve. We're looking at us as a club going forward now. Something that you won't be seeing now. And fact is, no other club has decided to touch you while on the brink of a new manager as well. Because the law, how an absolute failure of a manager you are, Steve. Completely. But again, for you to come out with this crap again is just absolutely unbelievable. Some people need to wake up. The ones who like to have a go at this need to realise how badly it was under Steve Bruce when he was manager of our time. The dross football, the dinosaur tactics, all the bust-ups we had with the players, the fans, and the media and all of that. And to come to a thing and thinking, yeah, he was doing a terrible job at Newcastle United. We all know he was. But again, Jesus wept just for him to come out and say like that. It's just absolute. It's just hilarious, isn't it? But you know what? We're looking back. We're looking at a club that's going forward, going to places now, challenging for going to challenge for trophies now, and all of that. While Steve Bruce could just sit in his home, munching away, eat his kebabs and all of that, and thinking, God, I never got the chance to do that, do I? Because I'm just an absolutely rotten manager completely. So, there you are. Well, and let us know how you feel about, if any of you who watched that podcast Steve Bruce was on, found it absolutely hilarious. And just, because the bloke just does nothing but talk absolute shite. And for him to come out and say stuff like that is just, we're not falling for it. We're just not falling for it anymore. And that's what it's like now. Eddie's doing a grand job. He's got ideas. Steve had no ideas at all and all of that. So, yeah, let us know how you are feeling after, if anyone saw what Steve Bruce came out with the day. So, there you are. But anyway, guys, don't forget to drop a thumbs up on this video. Please drop your comments in as well. Please, if you are new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button as well. It is free to do so and it helps making the channel grow as well. So thank you very much for that. And of course, the bell notification, because it will let you know of any other live shows or any other pre-recorded videos get uploaded there to the channel as well. And do not forget to catch me and Mason on Saturday night for PD's Football Live Show as well. Mason, the new co-host here for the channel as well. So to come and join us on Saturday for that. And we'll have a plenty of discussion and maybe we'll be discussing what Steve Bruce will be coming out with as well. So there you are. But anyway, guys, enjoy the rest. Hope you have a great evening and I'll catch you later. Take care. Again, Steve Bruce. The bloke is an absolute idiot.